Pigeon and all. Go ahead.
So, I'm going to be talking about two of my favorite things today and how basically I've ended up dabbling in both quite a bit. And while I've done a ton of stuff, I'm going to be centering in on two specific stories that kind of go together. So, we're going to be talking about these two, Hershey and Zippy, one of whom is with us today. Well, technically both, but you'll see. First thing we are going to be talking about the beginnings. So Hershey and Zippy hatched right at the beginning of the school year, in the fall semester. You can see Zippy over here weighed a bit less than Hershey, but it's normal to have a little bit of variation there. However, over time, it was clear that Hershey was growing a lot more than Zippy was, and it was starting to not look great. Runts happen, but often they do not make it, which unfortunately was the case for Zippy. So, being who I am, I don't know if you've been to my taxidermy booth in the back, but I sort of did what I am most accustomed to doing when confronted with a dead thing, and that is making taxidermy. So, did I cry? Yes, but I just pushed through, and I decided this was how I was going to sort of honor Zippy's short life of a few days. And so, yeah, this was sort of the moment where I was like, oh, wait, there is his face, there he is, he's here, and it's really sad, but I don't know, I think this in particular was kind of a powerful moment. Like, Zippy is the first and only animal I've mounted that I knew in life, which was an emotional experience. But Zippy did end up being quite significant as far as this year, because I entered him into an art competition, the Mid-South Scholastic art thing, and I won the Gold Key Award. And he was put on display in the Brooks Museum of Art, and that other student work was like amazing, and that was my favorite part of it, was looking at other people's stuff. Honestly, it was super cool, and it was a super cool experience having my art in the same room as all of that. So, what about Hershey? What was he doing during all of this? Well, unfortunately, he suffered a head injury, which is super zoomed in. I wasn't that focused on the photography aspect of the injury when he got it, so unfortunately I don't have a great image of it. But he was basically attacked by some of the older pigeons. I should say that these Hershey and Zippy were hatched here at the school, outer pigeon loft, which houses racing pigeons, which can be, they're buff, they're a little aggressive. They can be fine with humans, but towards each other, they're quite territorial. So when Hershey started walking, he went to go have some food, and they said, no, that's our food, and they pecked him in the head until he had an open wound, and I could see his skull, which was quite unfortunate. So I treated the wound, I brought him back, and all was well. Be free, be with your friends, and then they pecked his head open again. So I had to take him home again, treat a whole new wound on the top of his head, and then he ended up, this is just a cool photo of him for one, but he suffered a stroke due to, we assume, something to do with the head injury. And for a while, he was having trouble walking, though he did, through lots of yoga sessions, managed to walk and run well. However, he has never gained the ability to fly. So Hershey has been introduced to my birds as opposed to the ones here, because they are, it's important for pigeons to have a bit of a social life, but these guys are a bit more gentle than the ones that are here. So I thought that it might be a better place for him to live, and he has integrated beautifully with the other birds. I promise you he's somewhere in the pile. I think this is him. They're having a bath in that. But he was integrated with a new community of pigeons, a new flock, and now he hangs out with me doing what you can see him doing here and here. Sometimes he goes shopping, sometimes he comes to school, and sometimes he just hangs out with his other bird friends. But I thought it would be a very interesting thing to sort of compare these two siblings And they're very different stories, but sort of how those do connect to my big project this year, being taxidermy, and my resident expert, being pigeon care. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Just a couple of stories for you.
Clinton loves it.
Too excited. Yeah.